Now, let's go back in history, and even recent history, some great come-from-behind efforts, Johnny, that immediately come to mind.
Yeah, and you kind of rack your brain a little bit and think about some big comebacks and some big games and the ones that happened in the most recent history. And first one came to me was Chicago and Calgary. And I was like, there was one, I think it was Calgary was up by a whole bunch, and then Chicago managed to come back, and well, I guess I was right.
My goodness.
5-0
in the
lead
first
for Calgary. And then all of a sudden Chicago starts chipping away. Now they gave themselves 2 periods to do it, but this is the young and upcoming Chicago Blackhawks team.
That was their first title team of the recent 3.
And maybe this is just another one of those moments in the journey to believe that that's Mika Kipros off the net as well.
Yes, by the way.
And look at the reactions on the bench. Everyone having a good time in Chicago. And if there's ever going to be a game that could galvanize a group, like, yeah, we can do anything.
That's a really good point.
We can do anything.
That builds confidence.
And that would be definitely one of those for sure.
So we're counting down from 5 down to 1. Number 4.
Right.
The Blues.
One of my former teams, the Toronto Maple Leafs, falling victim. 3rd period, under 13 to go. The Blues are trailing by 4. Curtis Joseph, borderline Hall of Famer in net.
Yes.
And here come the Blues, chipping away, finding a way to just poke all these rolling pucks too, one after another. And see that Sasha Havanov stepping into one there. Just finding a way to get it done, and into overtime they go. And who's that in front? You should be able to hear him. He wears the squeaky blades with the holes in them. Jochen Hetsch. Whatever. German players, for whatever reason, like to wear them. You can hear him coming from a mile away. Dennis Seidenberg, you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, my God.
And yet Jochen Hetsch there standing all by himself to cap a huge comeback. But the Leaf team, they gave up some opportunities. I know. I played for them.
Not a laughing matter at number 3. What happened to Joe Pavelski was terrifying. Oh.
For sure. And, I mean, it was so well respected, and to see the severity of the injury.
Right.
And the moment, though, this is Game 7. This is not just some random game. This is Game 7.
Yes.
And here come the San Jose Sharks. And this series was so intense and physical and emotional and personal.
Well said.
And then San Jose goes and does this at home tone.
Incredible.
At home.
Incredible.
And he thought they had it, but then Marchessault somehow tied it up late before Barclay Goodrow played hero in overtime and ended that. That was one of the games of the ages. I mean, the way it swung back and forth, and they scored 3 power play goals on that 5-minute major, which should have been a 5-minute major, which they changed the rules about. All of it wrapped into one. And now the coach of the Sharks that game coaches the Vegas Golden Knights.
Interesting turnabout's fair play. Fancy meeting you here. And, by the way, as long as we're paying tribute to that window of time, they were the defending Western Conference champs, ushered out the first round. Now to number 2. Remember, the Leafs haven't won a round in the playoffs since 2004? Boy, were they close, Johnny.
Yeah, they had it all locked up. They're up 3 in the 3rd, halfway through the 3rd against Boston. No problem. They can coax this one home. They were the better team. And all of a sudden, here they come, chipping away. And you just knew that somehow it would be Patrice Bergeron. All the guy does is win and score big goals. I remember I was actually working that night calling a different game. And the winner of that other game, I think it was Washington, New York, was going to play the winner of this game. When they found out Toronto was winning, there were some, like, kind of closet high fives. Like, we get Toronto when avoiding Boston. And at the end of the game, they came to me between the benches like, Toronto game over? I'm like, no, it's going to overtime. They couldn't believe it. Neither could I. And, yeah, the misery for Toronto had been a long time. It has been a long time since they won a playoff round, continued. But that just kind of built as part of that Boston team's lore of clutch, never giving up, and also owning the Toronto Maple Leafs.
And to follow up on Johnny's point, they built on that, went all the way to the Stanley Cup final where they lost to the Hawks. The miracle on Manchester, put it on us. It never gets old watching this. Johnny, look at who they're playing against. The Oil.
And it's not that Edmonton gave up a whole bunch of goals. It's that they didn't score any more to build on the 5-0 lead. Like, they might give up 3, but they probably get 4 more, and it ends up 9-3.
Yes.
But here comes those glorious yellow and purple and gold jerseys, rallying back, finding a way to get it done. The Oilers thinking, this is not supposed to be us. We're the team. But it was Darrell Evans off a scrum draw, little slapper with one of the best sellies, takes the stick out of his teammates' hands. It is great stuff. Daryl Evans will never get sick of watching that, neither will the LA Kings fans. But yeah, when you're knocking off a dynasty in the making with the collection of Hall of Famers like Edmonton, that's not supposed to happen in LA. 5-0.
Yes.
Takes it all the way in overtime.